Tier 1 concealed APX holster. Is this the new standard in concealed carry, or is all this extra adjustment just another gimmick? Should you go for this over the Axis Elite? If you already have the Axis Elite, is it worth the upgrade? Today we're going to do a quick EDC update, and then we're going to talk about the Tier 1 APX. Let's get into it. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Marcus, and today we're going to give you a quick update of my EDC in August 2024. A lot of things have changed since February. My philosophies have changed a little bit. I've added a couple things, taken away a few things, and I actually do have a carry rotation for my EDC firearm now, so I've changed my mind on that. So let's go ahead and get into it with one of the biggest changes I made was getting some Viktos range trainer shorts. These things are awesome, man. They are stretchy, comfortable, lightweight, and breathable, perfect for the summer. And then my favorite thing about it is they've got a ton of pockets without giving off that cargo look. You know, I don't like big baggy pockets over here, giant stuff hanging off the sides. Everything is slim and streamlined, just like how I like to keep my EDC. So first of all, I know you guys, if you've been watching the channel, you know I despise vertical pockets because it's harder to put pens, flashlights, and knives into. Well, the range trainer shorts actually kind of fix that with the vertical pocket that cuts off horizontally at the bottom. So I'm able to keep things like my Tactile Knife Co. Rockwall Thumbstud right at the bottom of that horizontal part right there where it cuts off. I don't know if you're able to see that, but it goes down and then cuts off right there. So I'm able to keep things in there. So I keep the Tactile Knife Co. Rockwall on the right pocket. Back pocket, I have been carrying two knives lately, and why not carry my two best knives? I've got the Reeve small Sebenza 31 in S35VN and natural micarta inlines. So that goes in the back pocket. Another thing that hasn't changed, Mighty Hanks in the back. If you don't know Mighty Hanks, it's microfiber cloth, Arizona made, small business, perfect for wiping down my eyeglasses, my watch, my phone, anything I need. Speaking of the watch, if you've been watching the channel, you already know it is the Monta Oceanking. Now, I have mostly been wearing this on weekends and when I go to the gym. The Monta Noble has been my office companion lately, so I do kind of have a rotation there. So it hasn't been strictly the Oceanking, but when I do go out, when I am on the weekends, I am rocking the Oceanking every day. Another thing that's changed, switched out the Raylight Pineapple Mini for a Streamlight Wedge. I think this is the Wedge Slim. This one's nice. It's got a 50 lumen low power, and then the high power is 1000 lumens. So I got a nice option for when I'm walking around outside. Out in the country, we took a trip to Tennessee recently, out in the middle of nowhere in a cabin, and this really came in handy walking out to the cars. So there's that. The pen I've been carrying lately, recently upgraded to the smooth operator from Tactile Turn instead of the standard bolt action. So this is in a slim configuration. You can see I got the Marcus EDC engraved on the clip there. But yeah, honestly, I'm gonna do a breakdown of this versus the standard slim bolt action and the side click, because I think the smooth operator is now the #1 choice to get from Tactile Turn if that's something you wanna do. What else has changed? Let's see, so I changed my keys from the key bar over to the Orbitkey. The Orbitkey is something I used to carry a couple years ago. I switched to the key bar because the key bar had a pocket clip and I wanted a pocket clip carry my keys, but lately I've just been throwing these in the zipper pocket right here. The Viktos range training shorts, it's got an extra zipper on top of the standard pocket there. So keep it nice and concealed. Don't got to worry about them falling out of my pockets. And then one of my favorite parts about this Orbitkey is this bottle opener here. So this bottle opener doubles as, or quadruples as I think 7 or 8 different tools. Got a flathead up here, the bottle opener obviously, and what's cool is when I push up on this side, I got a Phillips there. So That's pretty sick to just have a Phillips at the end there when I want to just pull it out. Bottle opener has been super helpful. Been using it a lot. Wallet. Been carrying this Ridge style wallet that my girlfriend got me for our anniversary a couple years ago. It's got the M engraved on it, so that's pretty sick. This thing's super sturdy, holds a bunch of cards and some cash there in the clip if I need it to. So this has been my daily companion for years now. The reason it wasn't in my last video is because I used to keep my keys in my wallet in a bag that I would throw over my shoulder. But lately I haven't been really messing around with bag carry too much. I've been liking to keep everything in my pockets, everything on me. So let's move over to the firearm. I'm about to tell a story about my red dot falling off in class, which is just a perfect example of why we need to train with our gear. But just as important as training with our gear, we need to keep up with our nutrition and fitness, which is where our partners and my brother, Always Positive Energy, and Coach Dante come in. Keep up with your fitness and take care of yourself. Always Positive Energy.
What's up, guys? My name's Dante and I'm an online fitness coach and personal trainer, certified through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. I specialize in fat loss, nutrition, and muscle building. If you're interested in one-on-one personal training, I encourage you to join me for a free consultation and workout at Fitness Junkies Gym located in Avondale, Arizona. Just shoot me a message and we can get you scheduled. If you have any more questions, feel free to drop a comment below or just shoot me a message in my DM and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Let's get to work.
So, firearm, the reason why I've gotten into a carry rotation is because I was kind of forced into one. So in my last summer concealed carry video, I said I do not change my EDC firearm. I don't rotate, I train with one gun, and that's my EDC, that's my dedicated EDC. Well, what happened was I took that EDC to a pistol class with Prime Protection STL, shout out to Armand and Bridget, but we were running the hell out of that Shield Plus, and a couple hundred rounds into the class, my red dot flew right off the slide. Screws stayed in place, broke off the screws, red dot flew off. I finished the drill, by the way, but the red dot flew off, so I had to send it back to Floyd's custom shop to get it cut up, to get it recut, get that red dot on there. We got some new screws in there, so it's running. Now I'm actually just waiting on my frame from LV Stipple, and then we're gonna be running and gunning the Shield Plus, just like we were before. But that did kind of force me into a carry rotation, so lately I've been rocking the M&P Compact with Floyd's Custom Shop Magwell and Floyd's Custom Shop extended base plates to give me 17 rounds in the firearm and 21 rounds on the extended mag on the side. Another upgrade I made is I am actually carrying with a weapon mounted light. So I've got the TLR7X on there, the rechargeable. So just so I have a nice light on there. I did switch my philosophy. I do want to carry with a light, and that is one of my gripes with the Shield Plus is that there's not an accessory rail on it. I really wish Smith would have done that with the Carry Comp series, put that accessory rail on it so we could put lights like the TLR7A on it, TLR7X, and just run whatever kind of weapon mounted light you want to on that. That would make it the perfect EDC. But until my frame and slide come back from Floyd's Custom Shop and LV Stipple, I've been running the M&P Compact, and it's really confirmed to me that I can carry a full-size gun in the summer if I really need to or want to. Haven't really changed up my wardrobe at all, except for adding the Viktos range pants and the 10,000 tactical shorts. So it's really shown me that I can carry a bigger 17 round gun with a 21 round extended in the summer in my slimline attire if I really wanted to. So let's go ahead and get into this APX, man. So the Tier 1 concealed APX. This has gotten a lot of hype, a lot of discussion around it, super modular system. And when I added the TLR7X, I needed to get a new holster. So my first thought, I just went and got the Axis Elite because it works for me. I love the Axis Elite. It's been my EDC for like 4 or 5 years now. I haven't been able to switch over from it. So I went with my comfort zone and I got the Axis Elite. But when I got it in, I decided that I wanted to give the APX a try, no more than to show it to you guys. I've been seeing so many comments on my channel and other channels about the APX, and I wanted to get it for experimental reasons. And if I'm being 100% honest and upfront, I got this with some skepticism because honestly, I thought, I was just fine with the Tier 1 Axis Elite and the way the mag stood up vertically on that. So I didn't really see the need for APX. I thought, you know, maybe if you're in competition or you're trying to get draw times down or reload times down, this might be able to help you shave off 1/10 of a second here and there. But other than that, I really didn't think it was worth an upgrade. My only thought was maybe would you get this over the Axis Elite if you've never had either one. So after carrying this for about a week, I will say that it is 100% worth the upgrade, but I do not know if I would get this over the Axis Elite, and I'm going to tell you why here in a second. So the big thing about the APX is this, I don't even know, it's got all these holes in it. It's for the mag carrier, so you can adjust the height, the cant, pretty much everything you want to adjust about this magazine, you can adjust it. So you can make it more vertical, make it more of an aggressive cant, you could slide it up and down. And not only that, but you see the screws on the inside of the clip there. This is their new clip that only comes with the APX. You can move the clip up and down and left and right. Now, for 100% transparency, that to me is the reason why this is worth it over the Axis Elite, because look how far I was able to get the clips apart there. When I've got my belt buckle sitting in here, I still got about like that much room sitting over on this side, which gives me on the Core Essentials belt a perfect amount of room to go in there and adjust the belt, make it wider, make it tighter. So being able to move the clips further apart like that, to me, that made this 100% worth it. The only thing that I don't like about this is I wasn't able to run my Discrete Carry Concepts clips. That was like the first thing I tried, is to switch both of these out with the Discrete Carry Concepts. Now for this one, it worked just fine because it's a standard clip, 2 screws at the bottom. This one is where it got a little tricky because this, the way that the ride height is adjusted, you're able to have the screws high and the clip low because the screws are kind of on the inside of the clip. So when I was running my Discrete Carry Concepts clip, the screws were way down here and the ride height was way up here, so it was off balance with this. And to be able to get them lined up the way that I wanted, it just took too many screws. I didn't like the way it felt on the belt, so I opted to just keep the plastic clips on there. And my number one gripe with keeping the plastic clips on there isn't that it's more bulky and less concealable. It's that this clip here is not tuckable. So for that reason, and for that reason alone, I will be rotating the APX in with the Axis Elite when I do want to tuck in and get that super concealed. If I got to be a little bit more dressy, if I'm going to more of a formal event, date night, or I just want to look a little snazzy at work, I'm able to tuck my shirt in behind the Discrete Carry Concepts of the Axis Elite a lot more comfortably than I am on the APX. Not to say you can't do it, because I have seen people run Discrete Carry Concepts clips on the APX, but for me, it just wasn't comfortable. It was not worth the hassle, and I didn't like the way it felt or looked on the setup. So the plastic clips for me are the way to go. I did order another APX holster for my Shield Plus when that gets in, so I'm super excited to run that. This will be my EDC. I've decided that the way that this feels, the way that I run this, it's taking over as my EDC. The Axis Elite will be strictly for when I do want to go super concealed and tucked in. That's just what it's going to be, man. This is super comfortable. One of the things I noticed the most about having that aggressive cant on the magazine is not only does it allow for a more natural draw, so you don't have to like break your hand and like break your wrist to grab it vertically. It's a lot more natural to just come down like that and pull it up. But what I've noticed the most is that when it's not sticking up like this, it's almost not there. I hardly feel the magazine at all. It's almost like the magazine isn't there. It feels like I'm carrying a one-piece holster with just the gun until I go to move it around or something like that. But even like bending over, that was one thing with the Axis Elite, is if your magazine wasn't seated all the way and you go to bend over, with it pushing into the carrier all the way, it could pinch your skin, it could grab your undershirt. It's just a little uncomfortable. And I would even notice that I would be pushing my magazine further into the carrier than I'd want, and it would be, the retention would be a little bit too tight. So with this being off to the side, bending over is not a problem because I'm not putting any pressure on the top of that magazine. That was the number one thing I noticed with carrying it at that aggressive angle. Yeah, it does allow for that nice, comfortable draw when you're trying to get that magazine out, which is nice. It might shave a tenth of a second or two off of your reload time, but that's not really what I got this for. What I've noticed in this setup is it is a lot more comfortable than the Axis Elite, which being in this big of a package, I did not think would be possible. And with carrying the Axis Elite for as long as I have, it's been extremely comfortable. I haven't had any problems with it, but just comparing it to the APX, this is far more comfortable. And honestly, it might even be more concealable. I've been carrying this in my tight charcoal gray t-shirts, heather gray t-shirts, and I haven't had a problem concealing my 17 round M&P compact with the extended mags on it. So if you're asking me for my first impressions and my first thoughts, the APX is good to go, man. If you've been on the fence and you want to pick one of these up, if you got the funds to do it, man, I absolutely would recommend going with the APX holster. As you can see, I've got my screws up there. It's really high and really aggressive, so it is off to the side more, and that's kind of what I was saying with it being out of the way of my ribs and my stomach. That really, really helped. So if you've ever had a problem with the comfortability of carrying a spare magazine, this definitely would help. If you want to shave time off those reloads, this helps. And if you want to get your clips further apart so you could get a wider belt buckle on the middle, or you don't have to worry about running your belt buckle off to the side, this absolutely is a game changer, man. I don't think it's a gimmick. I really bought this going, I don't know if I'm gonna get much benefit out of canting my magazine. I bought this thinking that I would only use this in IDPA or when I'm RSOing at the range so I could have something cool to show on my belt open carry. But honestly, after a week of carrying this, I haven't touched my Axis Elite. I haven't been in a position where I needed to tuck in the past week. So I've been running the APX every single day. It's been comfortable, it's been concealable, and this thing is good to go, man. I don't really have anything bad to say about it, except it costs a little bit more than the Axis Elite. And if I'm being honest, my one negative from it is how long it took me to set this damn thing up. I would say that there is a ton of modularity on this thing, which is its greatest quality, but also maybe its greatest downfall is I spent about 3 to 4 hours at my table messing with the angles and trying to get the clips on right. One thing that I noticed is trying to do the magazine and the clip is that if you can see, so my clip is here, so you can see my screws are kind of on the magazine. So what I kind of had to do is put the back part of those screws in first. I had to put those on the grid first without totally screwing on the clip, because then that would get in the way of the magazine. The magazine is obviously right there on the clip. So I put the spacers in first, then I kind of put those 2 screws right there where I needed them to be, screwed down the magazine, and then I put the clip on top, and then I finally tightened down those screws. So getting this to this configuration took me hours. It took me a long time to get this set up to where I wanted it, but once I got it, I don't see myself really changing this configuration. So honestly, it was worth it to me. I was a little frustrated. I did drop some screws on the ground. It was kind of frustrating trying to get the mag and the clip set up to where I wanted it without interfering with one another, because I would get the magazine down to where I wanted it, and then I'd try to get the clip down, and obviously I can't get back there to put the back part of the screw in because the magazine carrier is right there. So I would have to take off the magazine carrier, try to do the clip first, and then I couldn't get the magazine where I wanted it because the clip screws were in the way. So it took a lot of trial and error. It took a lot of tinkering around with it at the table to get it to this exact configuration. But once I did, man, I haven't touched it since then. I don't see myself needing to adjust it, except for maybe if I want to move the ride height up and down, which if you could see the top of it right there, that slot right there, if you just unscrew those just a little bit, just back them out a tiny bit, you'll be able to adjust the ride height on the fly and then tighten them back down. Same thing on the clip. If you want to adjust the ride height, the wing, and this clip here all have easy adjust to be able to put them up and down on the fly. Same thing with this wing here. All you gotta do is back the screws out a little bit, put it up and down where you want it to go, and you are good to go, man. So in my honest opinion, go get it, man. I got no reason to stop you from getting the APX unless you are one of those people that tucks all the time. If you're constantly tucking in, if you're suit and tie every day, if you need to tuck in your shirt, then I would suggest going with the Axis Elite and some discrete carry concepts clips, because that setup has done me no wrong anytime I've needed to tuck in. But this configuration, just for everyday carry with like a nylon tactical belt, Core Essentials, go get your 10% off, use code Marcus EDC10. You're just carrying with a Core Essentials belt, Hunter Constantine belt, and you're not really caring about tucking in and showing your belt. This setup is amazing, man. I haven't had any problems with it, especially with the wide wedge on the back, pushing it up against my body. This thing has been good to go, man. So appreciate y'all for checking this out. Stay tuned for the next one. Hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll see you on the next video.